the Apt Kitchen this morning with Meli Cafe. It's a breakfast and brunch hotspot serving up some of the best Greek-inspired dishes.
That's right. This morning we're learning how to make French toast with a twist. Here to show us more is their chief chef, their main chef, Frank Georgakopoulos.
Perfect.
Close?
Very close.
Okay,
good.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in. That was the hardest part of the segment.
That was the hardest
now
part
we
of
get
the
to the fun.
segment.
Now, we are both big fans of Meli, and you guys do a lot of different and unique things with your food, and this one is definitely Greek-inspired, right?
That is correct. That is correct. Basically, what we're doing today is we're taking our French toast, our basic recipe, and then taking it to another level of making it Greek by adding a little bit of a baklava topping in there. So if you like your honey, your cloves, your cinnamon, your almonds, this is for you.
I tell you, baklava is just, since college.
Yep.
That's why I learned about it in college.
Me too.
My favorite dessert. My brother used to order just pans of it. And would, I mean,
it's just lasts forever. You know, or
that's right.
Probably if it's around like maybe 2 or 3 days. But yeah.
No, it doesn't last that long. It doesn't. Okay,
it doesn't last when you eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so basically, first, with any, obviously, French toast, we got to build our custard. So I like to do a standard recipe, a couple eggs, which is about 8. I take a little bit of sugar or honey, if you like, as a sweetener. I always use forks to whisk.
I like that. 2 forks. That's pretty cool looking. I like that. I gotta try that.
Does it do something different to it than a whisk?
For me, I find it gets a little bit more aeration in there. And it gives your wrist a workout, so this way, you know, it keeps you going. For this recipe, I use a little bit of baklava-inspired spices. So there's a little bit of ground nutmeg in here, a little bit of clove, a little bit of cinnamon.
Yes,
ooh, so it has that spicy flavor.
Exactly.
I think you have to have cinnamon always, at least.
Well, you do.
In French toast, right?
Exactly.
But then the nutmeg and the clove gives it a...
And also, I think the issue is sometimes people don't put enough of that in there.
I would agree.
You know, because I don't want to see the egg per se.
I've had plain French toast where I want to see the specks of it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So if you want specks, here what I've got is a little bit of a vanilla bean suspended in a little bit of honey. Meli is the Greek word for honey, for all our loyal patrons who know it. So the majority of our dishes has honey as a sweetener in it.
See, now that's the color I like. You know, it's all getting together. That to me says nothing but pure goodness.
Now, what kind of bread do you use? Because that's some pretty intense bread.
Actually, the bread we use is a challah that we make in house.
Okay.
So basically, can flavor with a little bit of honey, egg yolks, and a little bit of flour. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then here I pour a little bit of half and half. The reason I use half and half, I like the thickness of the heavy cream and then the lightness of the milk to get that nice little custardy effect. So to me, this looks about done.
Okay. Nice and frothy, and just the right amount of brown specks in it for the French toast.
So what I like to do first is get my butter going.
Is that shred approved?
Well, it's a little on the big side, but you know what? It's okay to splurge. Laura and Brady are having their birthday today.
There you go.
So
we'll celebrate it.
We're celebrating for Laura and Brady.
So,
now, I noticed you did the corners first, the edges of the bread first.
Well, that tends to be the drier spots of the bread because we like to keep it a little bit stale. So we'll let it age for about 2 or 3 days on the shelf. This way it soaks up a lot of the custard, and you get that nice little effect in there. So as the butter starts to melt.
Now, one thing about thick bread is that I like to have mine cooked through. I don't like cutting into or biting into when it's wet in the middle.
But the way he's doing it doesn't look like it's soaked all the way. Like it's just right on the outside.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, is this a way to prevent that, or?
In a way, yes. So I'm glad you saw that little before I started talking about it, because this way you get your edges nice and cooked first, which is obviously the drier spot, and then the middle part where it's a little bit soft, a little bit more moist, it'll have just enough custard to soak through in there. This way it'll cook in a nice, perfect golden brown. And if you're doing this at home, one way I like to do it is have an oven on. So, or they're about 325. Start coloring them, pop them in the oven, and then when brunch time is ready, there you go.
That's a good.
That's a good
I love
tip.
that.
This way, because how many people have a big flat top grill or more than a pan that fits 2 slices?
Most people don't. Now, tell us about some of the food that you have you've brought here, because it looks amazing. In addition to the toast, and while that's cooking up, we can peruse the menu.
Well, Meli's been open for about 10 years, and this has been one of the first menu items on the menu, and one of our most popular omelets. It's called our spicy flamenco. It's basically got our house-made chicken chorizo in there. It's got a little bit of onions, tomatoes, cilantro, avocado, topped with a little sour cream. 3 eggs you can have with egg whites if you like, and then a little bit of a pepper jack cheese to get that.
Now, is that the real actual serving size?
That's the actual serving size, yes.
Okay.
If you go egg whites, though, it's just going to go even bigger.
Right, because they blow up.
Yeah, me, I'm a fan of always a 1 yolk type of an omelet, because I like that little, fat and a little protein from the yolk, but I like more of the egg whites myself.
Me too.
Okay.
Then if you're going calorie-wise, this is our bread pudding pancakes. It's got a maple compote on top with a little bit of cranberries, a little bit of raisins, and a little bit of apple. A little bit of our marmalades are featured here also.
Yum.
Once again, that's the real serving size?
That's the real serving size. This is the weekend splurge special, but everything's available as a side. I mean,
Don't feel like you have to justify your food for Dr. Ian.
No, I'm just
I want
making
to be
sure.
on my best behavior with Dr. Ian.
No, listen, it looks so good. I want to make sure how much am I getting when I get there.
I see.
You know
I see what you're saying. Because it sounded a little bit judgy, Ian.
No.
Little bit. All right, and then of course we have the baklava pancakes. I mean French toast, which you're going to get to the topping in just a second. Okay. And then what's all this prettiness
over here? What we've got is any type of a Greek breakfast traditionally starts off with a little bit of Greek yogurt.
And that's
so
this one right here.
Two smaller plates to the back have Greek yogurt on the bottom. One has toasted walnuts and a little bit of organic buckwheat honey, and the other one has a house-made granola.
And that's how we're supposed to be eating Greek yogurt,
Yeah,
huh?
correct.
That's the traditional way to do it.
Yes.
And then in the front,
and in the front we have our corned beef hash.
That's
on the left.
That looks good.
And on the right we have our vegan patties, which is basically a 3-grain brown rice, quinoa, black beans.
Gene's not a corned beef person, but I gotta tell you, I love corned beef and making a hash. Oh my, that's the two best things.
and it's in a little cup. It's
Exactly.
beautiful.
I mean, and this one, if you're watching your calorie intake, what we do is basically 4 ingredients: corned beef, diced potato, salt, and pepper. And that's all.
And that's
Very
it.
minimal
Simplicity.
butter. When we're grilling it up, saute it, and then just go from there.
And then Chef Frank, tell us what the topping is on the
Sure.
baklava as we finish off our French toast.
Okay. The topping on the baklava basically is just our beautiful baklava right here. Layers of phyllo, layers of cloves, layers of cinnamon, shredded up, poured on top with a little bit of buckwheat honey and a little bit of whipped topping. Sorry.
Yum. Well, thank
This
you
is
so
just
much.
unbelievable.
I'm sorry that Dr. Ian put you on the defensive
Not at all.
because this is delicious as he digs into all your
Yeah, I'm
food.
digging into it. Let you know. Listen, I'm an equal opportunity employer, gastronomically speaking.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm giving you a hard time. Thank you so much, Chef.
Thank you so much for having me.
And if you want to check out Meli, they have 3 locations in Chicago: South Dearborn in the South Loop, here in the West Loop, right down the street on Halstead, and on North Wells in River North. Log on to melicafe.com for more information.